In a battle of Terran versus Terran, two longtime legends in the South Korean StarCraft 2 scene settled the score in front of a sea of fans. Maru versus Cure. The first 2023 GSL title was on the line. The best-of-7 series began on the map of Altitude, where Cure was the first to expand his base. First blood was drawn when Maru landed a drop in Cure's main, but it was quickly dismissed with minimal casualties. A second drop packed full of Marines caused some real problems for Cure. He lost a small number of SCVs as well as a vital barracks in the assault. A third drop that included survivors from Maru's first attack permanently blew a hole through Cure's economy, obliterating 10 workers between both of Cure's mineral lines. With upgrades well on the way, Maru started to secure ground. Cure was forced to bunker in, repelling what he could while restoring his work account. While Maru was finding ways to breach the enemy high ground, Cure sent a small but precise Marine attack to take out his opponent's third, resulting in 20 SCV deaths. Maru was adamant that he wanted to keep pressure on the Terran in blue, while simultaneously taking over the northern side of the map to dramatically increase his income. Passing the 19-minute mark, Maru was able to wipe out an entire base before Cure's defenses kicked in. Unfortunately, he took heavy casualties in the attack. Cure cited Maru's additional command centers. Disabling one of these was crucial for the minutes ahead. The switch had flipped. The Terran in blue had a thriving income and the units in place to defend, while Maru was running low on army numbers and resources.
What Maru's trying to do is cause enough distraction on the other side of the map that maybe Cure will come back and defend it, and so far it seems like it's working. This is Maru on, nope, that's gonna be it. GG, Cure takes game one.
Surviving multiple Medivac drop waves, Cure fought back to claim the first game of the grand final set. Reseating for the large map of Dragon Scales, it wasn't long before Maru kicked a proxy barracks into motion. The play was spotted almost immediately, throwing off Maru's element of surprise. The scout didn't seem to faze Maru when he sent a pocket of Reapers and a Hellion to cause destruction in Cure's main. 8 SCVs fell in the early attack. Maru's follow-up with the siege tank was brutal, but Cure's Banshee with Cloak changed everything. Tanks went down one by one. Maru had no energy to scan, leaving his tanks completely vulnerable. Cure was desperately playing catch-up on SCVs. His second command center was late, but his outgoing force was looking very brutal. Although Cure's army remained at the footsteps of Maru's base, the 5-time GSL champion dropped auto turrets and grounded his Vikings to deal a heavy blow to his opponent. Cure had nothing. Even his offensive was reduced to rubble.
And now he can just throw his SCVs in here because this game's over. Maru is taking game 2, in a commanding performance, action-packed, technical play.
Maru evened up the scores, taking his first win in the GSL finals. Emotions were running wild, leading into the live event's third game. Maru got the information he needed through early Reaper play. A strong Hellion convoy threatened Cure's side of the map, but their advancement was cut short. Maru's natural was under siege. Reinforced with Vikings, Cure was slowly closing in on his opponent, chewing apart his front line and 21 SCVs in a single strike. Although he overthrew the units that dealt severe damage to his base, Maru knew he had to tap out when his last-ditch effort failed.
The drop's going to come in. He's going to commit up into the main. What do we have here to defend? We have one siege tank and the Vikings are going to come in here. The Vikings will actually trap the medevacs in, so this may be the final death throes of Maru in this game.
Cure was up 2-1 in the GSL Grand Final against one of the toughest Terran players on the planet. Strapped in for Game 4's map of Babylon, Cure and Maru continued the conflict in the 2023 Africa TV GSL Season 1 Grand Final. Less than a minute in, a proxy double barracks was established in close proximity to Cure's side of the battlefield. With the vision of a floating barracks in play, Maru's Reapers were able to pick off 6 SCVs that were critical to Cure's early game. In retaliation, 7 SCVs fell to their deaths after Cure made a drop of his own in Maru's main. The Terran in blue was forced to retreat his 3rd expansion when Maru stood his ground with a wall of siege tanks. Maru was finding value with vision of the high ground, all while Cure's intended counterattack was being shut down. The game became very passive. With sensor towers littered around the battlefield, it quickly became a dance of siege tanks and air units, as neither player could find a crack in each other's defences. Maru was controlling the majority of the map, and with armour-shredding missiles focused on his opponent's Vikings, he was winning the majority of the engagements also. Slowly but surely, Maru won battles and pushed Cure's forces back to his outlying command centres. This time around, he certainly won the numbers game.
I think that Maru has kind of done the remarkable. I mean, he's actually slowly, systematically, sequentially brought this game to this position. GG.
The scores were even once again. Maru had begun his comeback.
It seems like it's kind of...
Entering Game 5's map of Ancient Cistern, it was Cure's turn to open up with the double barracks proxy strategy. His Reapers were successful. Maru suffered heavy worker casualties in the rush. Maru's first real attack was launched just past the 8-minute mark, when he dropped several bio units and auto turrets in his opponent's natural. Plenty was done, but Cure defended successfully. Cure brought the fight to the foot of Maru's base several times over, each time forcing his command center to lift off and survive another day. Tensions rose across the battlefield until Maru made the call to tech into battle cruisers with a Yamato cannon upgrade, an expensive shift that would soon pay off. They rained down chaos from above uncontested on Cure's outlying command centers. When forces were pulled, they teleported safely out of harm's way. Surviving armor shred, Maru's battle cruisers cut through Cure's offense with absolute ease. He even took the chance to teleport on top of Cure's fleeing Vikings, flexing his dominant air force.
Here we go! Coming in are the battle cruisers. The Vikings on land trying to run away through the little waddle, but they cannot get away. Now you have Matos also coming in.
Oh my God, GG, what an ending.
Maru just needed one more win to make GSL history. His 6th prestigious title was within arm's reach. As the grand final story continued to unfold, Maru opened up on the map of Royal Blood with a proxy barracks. Once scouted, Maru shifted gears and began to expand. This change of play tricked Cure into thinking that an early rush was imminent. The Terran in blue had to get aggressive. He stood his ground at the foot of Maru's base. With siege tanks and a Liberator deployed, Maru's second was in turmoil.
Command center, and Maru, there's another tank
in this particular scenario, the best defense was a strong offense. Maru marched a battalion of Marines onto his opponent's low ground, disabling his solo tank while decimating SCVs. Slowly but surely, Cure was making ground. Maru looked like he was seconds away from another loss.
Forward now, coming in with the medevacs from the backside as he does
That
get the
was
pulse
until a
around.
robust flank from behind cleared out Cure's front line, saving Maru from the brink of elimination.
You do it then for Maru later. Okay, Cure,
Both
so
players gained a few minutes to stabilise and concentrate on their economies, upgrades and army count. Confining Maru to his quarter of the map was the name of the game for Cure. Sentry towers were set up in the middle of the battlefield, along with a strong offense.
Small ambush of infantry units.
Flowing into the late game, Maru found an opening and committed a large portion of his mixed bio and mech-based army to level 1 of Cure's command centres. Battle cruisers were brought in to harass Maru as both players started to expand desperately for additional resources. While Cure was advancing his battle cruiser tech, Maru shifted his focus into amassing his marine count. When paired with armor shredding and disables on key units like Cure's siege tanks and air, Maru's army became a wrecking ball of destruction. In a game that he was losing on paper, Maru broke into Cure's main and began destroying crucial buildings and infrastructure. This drastic swing back into bio with the numbers to execute it was the killing blow for Cure.
Cure is going to try to move across the map and do as much damage as he can, but as we see that happen, the Marines are here to answer this as well. The battlecruisers disabled are gunned down, and Cure is processing his loss as Maru is going to be the GSL champion for the 6th time in a row. GG!
In a GSL series that left every fan of the game on the edge of their seat, Maru once again reigned supreme, proving to the entire world that when it comes to South Korean Terran players, he is the king. Still to come.
Thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button to keep up to date with the amazing esport content from around the gaming globe. Only on Unbeaten Esports.